Hello, my name is Danielle St. John, and I am not running for Congress in California's 49th District. I'll have to come up with a new opening for that one. But no, I think it's pretty official now. We can say that $14.9 million was enough to make it so that there was no competition besides either of the two major parties. And that's actually I'll let you guys in on a little secret. I think that's kind of what we expected, right? I don't think that any of us really ever expected that either of the two major parties. And that's hey, you stop. Expected that we would be able to overcome this system, but it's still something that we have that we have to try. Like we have to say that we gave it everything that we had, right, to make it and so I really think that at this point we have to figure out. I'm doing something new, by the way. I'm going to try to. Hi, Fred. I'm going to try to figure out like a way to read the comments at the same time. I think interactive is probably a little bit better. So hopefully this works. Hopefully it's not too distracting. But so I really have been thinking. Pretty much this whole time, my goal has not been to get us to win a seat in Congress, right? I actually got accused by an establishment dem, basically, of saying that I'm running to suit my own selfish ambition, and it's like, have you met me? Like I am not. This is like the last case. I should not be running for Congress. I was not running because I wanted to. I was running because I fucking had to. I'm sorry, but there were no good choices. I even saw, the flaw in the progressive, Doug Applegate, right? So I personally don't think that it is, we have enough energy to focus on the government, and to have the kind of effect on this government, on our government, that we need, to actually make changes. And when you actually think about that we're not going to be able to make an effect on our government that we pay for, that's supposed to be, for the people, by the people, blah, 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 right? So I think at this point, we have to kind of change the game that we're playing, right? I think that and this was part of my platform too. Money out of politics was the first platform issue, but really the other platform issues was profit out of food, news, and health. But I think that we have to really. We just saw when Bayer and Monsanto just merged. Give me a break. Like, how soon is it going to be before laws start getting passed, making it so we can't grow food on even our own properties, right? So I think that we would have more of an effect using our energy, planting food forests. And I brought this up a few times, and somebody, I tried to go back and find the comments, somebody said that yes, we could plant food forests, but that's illegal in a lot of places, and so that's just not going to work. And I think we have to really kind of realize that in a lot, seemingly more and more cases, what is moral and what is legal are two different things, right? And so I'm going to play a clip for you right now. This has actually been a bit of an inspiration for me, and I hope it will be for you. But this is a guy named Ron Finley. I'm going to in this clip. This is a TED Talk, and he actually lives in South Central LA, and he ran up, with a similar problem that we're kind of facing in cities that are making it illegal to grow food. So, just want you to
and food is the solution. Plus, I got tired of driving 45 minutes round trip to get an apple that wasn't impregnated with pesticides. So what I did, I planted a food forest in front of my house. It's on a strip of land that we call a parkway. It's like 150 feet by like 10 feet. The thing is, it's owned by the city. but you have to maintain it. So I'm like, cool. I can do whatever the hell I want. Since it's my responsibility and I got to maintain it, this is how I decided to maintain it. So me and my group, LA Green Grounds, we got together and we started planting my food for us, fruit trees, you know, the whole nine, for vegetables. What we do, we're a pay-it-forward kind of group, where it's composed of like gardeners from all walks of life from all over the city, and it's completely volunteer, and everything we do is free. And in the garden, it was beautiful. And then somebody complained. The city came down on me. And basically gave me a citation saying that I had to remove my garden, which this citation would turn into a warrant. And I'm like, come on, really? A warrant for planting food on a piece of land that you could care less about? And I was like, cool, bring it. Because this time it wasn't coming out. So LA Times got hold of it. Steve Lopez did a story on it and talked to the councilman. And one of the Green Grounds members, they put up a petition on change.org. And with 900 signatures, we were a success. We had a victory on our hands. My councilman even called and said how they endorse and love what we're doing. I mean, come on, why wouldn't they? LA leads the United States in.
Okay, so I'll just stop it right there. We could play a little bit more if it plays in with this later. But so this is an example of how, yes, I mean, this, whoever, gosh, I wish I could remember who it was. I tried to find this comment, but so yes, you are right. Whoever that was that made that comment, you know, in a lot of places it is illegal to do this kind of stuff. But if you want an example of how strength in numbers can actually in real time help and make changes and change laws that really help the people instead of hurt the people. I think that you know, that's a really, I think that honestly to me, I believe that that is the best place to put our energy. And honestly, if people didn't have to worry about where they were getting fresh fruits and vegetables, I know that these are small problems, you know, compared to a lot of problems, say like Flint, but you know, I mean, if you even dig a little bit deeper than Flint, we know that there are 2,000 cities in this country that are worse than Flint. And so yes, Flint is a horrible, horrible problem, but it is a symptom of the fact that we have no control over our country. And and you can see it in everything from, you know, from voting to the way that our government is run to the way that our roads are crumbling, right? And so I think that at this point, you know, I'm not saying that if you, and congratulations to the candidates, I really do, congratulations to the candidates. I'm not bitter, you know, this was to kind of prove a point, right? So congratulations and thank you for fighting for us. Thank you for continuing to fight for us. We have to come at this problem from every angle, right? So we have to make sure that when we start to take our streets back in the form of planting food, that we will have the right people in the right places to facilitate every kind of change that we need to get this country back. I think the first, you know, there's a couple few things that we can do right away to help us down this path, right? One thing is to admit that we have a problem, right? I think that there's a lot of people who are still afraid to admit that our government, you know, it doesn't work. It is not there to help us. It's really there to collect money from the tax farm, which is the people, right? To pay special interests that have nothing to do with the people. So that's just where I'm taking this. I think that it's summertime everywhere. You know, I think that strength in numbers, guys. So I'm gonna take it back to San Diego, and I kind of am starting to put out the call to all parties, right? I mean, that's actually the second thing that we can do is transcend your political identity, because they're not. That is just a line. Those lines are not helping anybody, right? So transcend your political identities. I've actually, this has kind of been kind of a cool process for me because there have been a few other candidates in the race that that I would consider friends now, honestly, like just through social media and through, I guess, unity in purpose, in what we want to do and what we want to achieve for the country. There's, of course, Jordan Mills. He finished dead last, man. That guy, if that's not a sign that America sucks, is that the Peace and Freedom Party candidate came in dead last. Ooh, ouch. Anyway, but another very interesting ally has been Josh Hancock. He's the Libertarian Party. This is why I say I think we need to transcend political identities, because honestly, we're going to find allies in places that we would not if we kept these identities, right? So once we get rid of these, and all they are words, right? Like, I mean, why do we have to have, these kind of words define, who we are? What, if we all want to plant food, why does it matter if, you identify with yellow or blue or green or plaid? Like, why does it matter? Anyway, so I know that in San Diego, I have a network of people that I'm starting to gather, and I would encourage, if anybody lives in San Diego and they know of a good neighborhood that has a lot of these parkways that are just full of crabgrass, that in a neighborhood that is not great, or maybe it is great. It doesn't even matter. If there's a really good place where you think that multiple neighbors in a row, say maybe 4 neighbors on a street, would be willing to do this, use their easements to plant food, I'm sure that we can get something like what Ron Finley has going on up in LA, where we can get volunteers to plant gardens. And I know that there's a lot of really great ways to do very low cost drip irrigations systems. Also, I really think if we look at who is suffering, I'm really, really suffering at this point, what demographic is suffering the most, I would say at this point, it's the middle class as far as food goes, right? So apartment complexes, what if every little spot that you saw that just had grass in it, or a bush, what if we could put a little garden there? What if everybody who wanted to volunteer in the complex to keep it up could, and if you didn't want to, you were still more than welcome to partake in the food. Just things like that. I really think that links to health as well, right? So food and health are 2 of the 3 biggest things I think that we need to address right now in order to get our country back and to be well and to be free, honestly. So, like one thing that this guy says in this video earlier on is that we're seeing, dialysis centers pop up like Starbucks, right? And it's true. It's like we are really unhealthy, and it's because number 1, we're stressed out, and number 2, we don't eat well. And so I think that, if we can get people to start eating right, that will directly affect health right away. So these are just my ideas of the places to start using our energy, and I hope that I kind of hope to be maybe a rally point for people. Let's see, don't forget. Yeah, exactly. Monsanto. Robert, we were just talking about how Monsanto and Bayer merged. It's like they're not even trying to hide that they're poisoning us. They're drugging our the food and water that we ingest, and it's really bad. It's I think the more times we get an example of how our government and the people making decisions really, really just don't care about us, the more people are going to start realizing what the problem is. And it's, they don't think of us as humans, or they don't care about humans, right? I just think that if we sit around and wait for our government to help us, we're just going to die. And
the same people that send us to war.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear Freeman, but yes, he's right. There's they are the same people that send us to war and will continue to send us to war. So, I think that these are the steps I think we need to take to start this revolution. And if you guys, like I said, if you guys still want to put your faith in government and in the system, please go ahead. We still have to have people in those seats to change the laws, right? I guess, at this point, I would say best case scenario would be to neutralize our government, kind of like the monarchy is, right? They're just basically there for for symbolic reasons, right? If we, but honestly, I think that bringing the control back down to the community level, starting with these are basic essentials that we're talking about, and something that I would consider human rights, right? I mean, food should be something that every American has access to, and it should be without shellac on it. That's another thing that they talk about in that video, is that he went into a grocery store and picked up a tomato, and it said that it was coated with shellac for freshness. And he said that was kind of like one of his, like, the camel that broke the straw that broke the camel's back kind of thing, is that, like, this is what we put on wood, it's just not, this is not food anymore, and it's absolutely the the problem and the solution to fixing our health. So so I haven't actually been paying too much attention to the comments, but it seems like you guys are just kind of talking about Monsanto. It would be, I saw a really awesome little grassy area in front of a grocery store a couple days ago, and I thought, how cool would it be that, the only reason you'd have to go into a grocery store is to get things other than fresh fruits and vegetables. You could just walk up to the front of a grocery store and, and pick some vegetables if you needed to. So anyway, I think that's probably the most direct impact that we can make. But that's my idea, right? So that's what I think, these are my passions, but I know that everybody has their own skills and their own passions and the things that they've been concerned about and put in lots of time and energy into fixing problems. Like, for instance, you guys know I'm on the board of a prison ministry, and this is just, this was not my project. This is a seed that, was planted, 20 years ago, and it's helped, just hundreds of, at least tens of thousands of women. And so that's, that was Carmen's seed, but, and my seed can be, growing food. But if you guys have, say, have you thought about a tiny home project for homeless vets, where they grow fruits and, I don't know. I know that you guys have some amazing ideas on how to fix these problems. And so I'm giving you my ideas, and I think that I would like to keep the dialogue open as often as possible for people to kind of chime in with their own ideas. And so I mean, I'm going to be keeping in touch, right? I'm really honestly, like, this is, I know I was running for office, but I don't know if you guys knew me before I was running for office. I had no real intentions on running on off, for office before, right? So, so now I'm just back to trying to save the world, you guys, and so help me help us, right? What kind of ideas do you guys have, of cooperative economy, right? So I've actually been taking pictures anytime I see something that is something that can help all of us. I'll take a picture and I'll, do a hashtag cooperative economy. And hopefully if you guys can do that too, we'll see them. And I'll be in regular contact, kind of trying to get some of these ideas in front of you and hopefully plant some seeds. But definitely keep in touch with me. And I don't know, like, I'm starting to get used to these live streams now, so maybe I'll just start doing them for other reasons besides political reasons, right? So I certainly am still pretty active in the truther community, so I think that maybe I'll start doing regular live streams on Pedogate or something like that. So, whatever needs to be, in front of a large audience. I have a platform, so I intend to use it. And did you see any questions?
I mean, people just chatting.
Yeah.
So less questions and more.
Yeah, maybe I'll go through and see what I can find. They're just talking about the race. Yeah, Kenneth Mejia, that's pretty cool. I want to see his final numbers though. Like he may actually be the closest green in history to go to the to be in Congress. So that's pretty cool. Self-governance, yes, that's where we need to go with this. And David, there's a lot of bad connotations to self, governance, and I think that there's this. You will kind of hurt people if we take away if we take away the power of our government, that we're going to hurt people who rely on the government. But I don't think that's the case at all. Those programs are set up to fail. Like, I don't know about in other states, but in California, like for cash aid, you get 2 years. That's it. You get 2 years. Doesn't matter. I correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't matter if you keep popping out kids or whatever. I don't think that you just get more years. So it's very, very hard to get any kind of cash from the government. Like you have to go through a pretty lengthy process, and you have to be in pretty desperate need of help to get anything, right? And then what do we do? What do we call them? Welfare queens, right? We say that they're just trying to get free shit, right? It's like, no, not so much. So I think relying on the government in any kind of capacity is not in our best interest. I mean, do we even know if Social Security is going to be around for too much longer? I heard they just raided Social Security again, but there's $21 trillion missing from the Pentagon. It's like, no, just take it from the people because they just want free shit. I don't know. But let's see, we need a place to check in. Yes, we definitely need, Thomas, it's in the works right now. I'll private message you, and we're trying to get a team together right now and get a meeting in place. I think that should be the next thing to do. And it doesn't matter what party you identify with. Drop the labels at the door. If you want to grow food and if you want to help make our communities sustainable, come and see what's going on. And this is still very much in the making, but now I think I've got a pretty good network, not only on social media, but in San Diego as well for networking to activists that are just amazing, right? So I think that's coming soon. If my kids actually leave for Montana next week, and so I've got some time to dedicate to planning a get together. So I'm definitely going to do that. If wars can be funded, so can Social Security. Well, exactly, and that's actually why I still support MMT, Jeff, is because it's breaking down this illusion, right? So $21 trillion, right? That's just gone, right? Nobody's even going to ask where that is. And we always seem to have money for special interests, but it turns out the people are never a special interest, right? So that's, I think that's actually why I kind of supported universal basic income as well, because I think if we got something like that passed, then people would have, first of all, they wouldn't be as stressed out, right? They would have a little bit of breathing room for, just basic needs. And then they would have a little bit of, after that, after they're not stressed out, beyond belief, they can start focusing on the fact that, hey, why couldn't we have done this the whole time? Why did we have to suffer? So it's, hold on. Let me see. I should have been paying attention to comments this whole time. But my two hobbies are the Green Party and the community garden. Ethan, that's awesome. That's how communities should be run, honestly. There's actually in Ocean Beach, it's like a green store, and I don't know what they're selling there, but it looks just like a bunch of literature, and anyway, so, and I kind of like stumbled in there. I talked to somebody, and I still don't really know what they do, but they movies once a month, but they do plant gardens. Like, that's the other thing that they do is they used to support politically the Green Party, but then I don't know. But so I think there are organizations around like that are already in place. Also co-ops. I think maybe I mean, it's not just food co-ops. Like, any kind of co-ops that you guys can think of would probably be more of this kind of frame of mind. So I think building a network, and like I said, the other two, drop the labels at the door, talk to whoever will talk to you about making our communities sustainable, and just admitting that we have a problem in the first place. So capitalism will end when low-wage workers can afford to buy anything. Yeah, exactly, Jeff. Yes, that's exactly right. They don't know. They don't. They really have. By them I mean, or they, I mean us. Like, the population has really just been, I guess, trained to be blaming the wrong problems, but I don't think that we can go much further down this road without something cracking. I've said this many times, that I don't think the establishment really accounted for technology. It's kind of been screwing them at every step of the way, right? So the emails, cryptocurrency, social media, the internet. I think that we're more connected now than we've ever been, and that we can use these tools. Honestly, I can't think of any other time in history that we could have actually broken out of this cage. And I'm really kind of excited to be here and to be helping, kind of organize it. So I think that's probably a good place to leave this, unless somebody's got something pressing. Boy, I can tell you, I'm really excited to not have to be in all those, binding professional clothes anymore. So I'm just looking forward to kind of just being in San Diego and enjoying, once the kids are gone, just organizing and relaxing a little bit. So, all right, well, I will talk to you guys soon. And there's a few people watching that I'm gonna message, and hopefully we can get a meeting going before the month is over in San Diego. And if you guys want help, possibly with networking in your communities, maybe I can try to help with that. I've got a pretty decent network, but anybody who wants to help, that's how we're going to win this. The only way we're going to win is if we come together and focus our energy on helping the people to thrive. So, okay, I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great night. And okay, where's the closing? All right, bye.